Oh, so now comes the question: do we all try to pick out Creature and knock him out of the tournament? But I don't think that he'll be chosen. I still think everyone's gonna kind of gun for the top dog here and try to knock him out earlier, because if you can take out MaSa, as he's shown, he's definitely good, strong in the late game there. So he'll be hard to beat overall. But if you can take him out early, that just makes things all the easier later on towards the finals.
Yeah, exactly. So, you've got to wonder if this has changed JonSnow's thinking at all, as he'll be the next to choose for a tournament here. And does he see this and then kind of say, MaSa doesn't look too good today, even though obviously he carried that. He came back about these things. And in game 3, again, while it started off closer, it certainly pulled away. Is he going to look at that and say he's not at top form?
Well, boys, I'm here as well, and I think this, that means it's time to give us an opportunity to bring on our next player. Woo. Before that, why don't we take a look at the score screens and let people know that some people have been asking in chat what the current score is, and that's 1 life loss for Creature. So hopefully we have our score screen up, and let's pull in our next player, JonSnow. JonSnow. What do you think JonSnow does for this? Like, what happens here, guys? What do you think? Does JonSnow attack?
I kind of
go ahead.
I don't know. If I was in JonSnow's shoes, I would still do probably what I would have thought to do from the beginning, and I would pick on Creature. That's if you're playing from a purely mercenary point of view. But Jared's a nice guy. He might just say, well, Creature just played. I don't want to knock him out today. I think if everyone does that, Creature's just out today. And I don't know if everyone's going to want that. So,
well, I think the amount of the way it's set up, I think even if someone spreads it out, there's a likelihood that someone's
that he could go.
Today.
Yeah, exactly.
Only one will stand.
So I don't know. Yeah. But he could, the only other swing I could think is if he wants to go against MaSa himself and say, hey, that didn't look good. I
can beat that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if JonSnow picks Creature, does Creature accept it or does he reflect?
I bet he still accepts it and doesn't reflect till he's on his last life.
Speaking of which, we have the man himself, Mr. JonSnow. JonSnow,
welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're a little quiet though.
Be loud. Be bold.
Try it.
All right, JonSnow. Here we go. Tell us, who are you? What do you feel in this game right now? Did you watch the game against MaSa?
A little bit, not too much.
What? Essentially, MaSa did not, like, he lost game 1. So before you make your pick, game 2. So he lost game 2. How do you feel MaSa's chances are in general of being the best, actually, like ranked number 1? Should you have been ranked number 1?
I don't know how much MaSa's been playing, but I think he could definitely take the number 1 spot, But
then from your perspective, who's the player you don't want to be challenged by?
Probably MaSa. Maybe Puck, but I'd say MaSa.
All right, JonSnow, who do you pick as your challenge?
Can I pick him twice in a row?
Yeah.
You can pick whoever you want.
Sure
can. I'm going for Creature then,
See, that's what I'm thinking. Just be rational.
Hey, let's give Creature more chances to win money. That's all.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's bring Creature in here.
Yeah. Let's see if he decides to deflect this time or if he's going to accept the challenge again.
Protoss is so good. He's got a good chance,
It's true. I mean, he looked good there. That's probably some of the best I've ever seen him play. And he was really kind of metagaming it. Puck telling us in chat not to bully Adam, but it's not bullying. It's just business.
Well, Creature does have the opportunity to reflect, so he could reflect it to whoever he wants. He could reflect you straight to MaSa. He could totally reflect you to MaSa. So we'll find out where Adam is gone, and here he is.
Here he is.
All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
You have been challenged yet again. Are you going to accept this one?
What's up, guys?
Welcome back, Adam. You actually gave MaSa a good run for his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I chose really good builds against him, but he's just like overall a better player. So.
All right. So JonSnow has challenged you. Do you reflect, or do you take this challenge?
You know, I think I'll reflect this one, since I don't want to lose all my lives like right away.
I'm the easiest money you can get here, dog. I don't know what
You're supposed to trash talk the other guy, not yourself.
No, I just
doing
want
it backwards.
Chill for a little bit. I don't want to be.
All right. Who you're going to deflect him to?
Am I allowed to say MaSa?
You choose whoever you want.
Whoever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because you chose me, you get to play MaSa.
All right. Fair enough.
Reflection. I like it.
All right, Adam, jump out of here. We're bringing in MaSa. MaSa.
Good luck. Have fun, JonSnow.
I like that. I think that turns a little more interesting because now we've got our two top players from the Ligiac list going at it. That gives Creature a little better chance to work towards knocking MaSa out in the end there. And if he brings back gameplay like that, I have no doubt that he could take a series against MaSa.
Yeah, but like now Creature doesn't have his
he doesn't have his deflection now.
Now this makes him open to Future or Silky to just pounce on him.
Yeah.
They'll smell there's blood right now, right?
But I like this better than him using it right off the bat, because had he used it right off the bat there, he just would have avoided a match. Here again, he gets to kind of work towards bringing down maybe that first or that player that he can't beat necessarily, or just the one person that he might not be able to.
So yeah,
whatever the case may be.
Those things where where MaSa now is going to have to defend against JonSnow. So we'll find out. Let's get MaSa in here, and then we'll see if he can. We'll do vetoes. We'll do vetoes, and then we'll jump into the game.
Yeah, MaSa in the game chat, not too happy about being targeted in such a vicious way.
All part of the game.
Yeah.
Well, JonSnow, in terms of actually playing against MaSa and in this new patch, how do you feel against your chances in Terran in general? Terran in general.
I think they're fine. There's a lot of things you can do.
Are you afraid of battle cruisers?
That's the scariest thing ever.
Right,
MaSa, innovation.
They move while shooting now. It's pretty scary.
All right, MaSa, it has been deflected to you. So JonSnow attempted to pick on Creature again, but Creature has deflected and forced this matchup. How do you feel about this?
I just think he wants JonSnow to lose.
Seems reasonable.
All right, let's do some vetoes. Vetoes.
I veto first, right?
MaSa first, right? Top of the seed. Yep.
I mean, you can always assume that I'm gonna veto Parasite.
Yeah, top seed will always veto first. Yeah.
All right.
Always veto
Parasite. Yeah. All right. Parasite veto. JonSnow veto 2.
Veto Stasis.
All right. And second one.
JonSnow again.
Ooh, that's a lot of maps, dude.
ABBA. Yeah.
It is.
Which one's the best for Terran?
Kairos Junction.
You
Kairos, I think. I like Kairos.
I don't even know yet. You can be sure that MaSa knows where to proxy on every map already.
I'll say Kairos then.
All right. And MaSa last veto.
Wait, what map? What was that one?
Kairos Junction.
Yeah. Oh, Kairos Junction.
And then was that Port Alexander, you said?
No, I veto Cerulean.
All right.
Oh, Cerulean.
It's
right, so Blue Shift, Automaton, and Port Alexander as our map choices. Go ahead and start us off there. Innovation.
First automation.
Automation first. Automaton.
Yeah.
Second Blue Shift.
I said automation first, not Blue Shift.
Automation and then
Blue Shift.
Then Blue Shift.
I like how we all call it something different. You call it automaton. I call it automaton.
Yeah, I think it's automaton. I think you're right.
There was an I in it. There was nation. Automation.
I just like how we're all calling it something different, though.
All right. Well, we can go jump into the game and we'll start it. Make sure JonSnow you're in the game chat, KOTN, and
good luck, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Godspeed.
Absolutely. All right, boys. What do we? Let's get some statistics up there. Production.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, these guys. I'm not sure what statistics we end up putting up, but these two do have a long and storied history. They have played a full playing card deck of games against each other. 52 matchups in the past between JonSnow and MaSa.
52 matchups?
52 games have they played, and MaSa has a 41-11 record. But a lot of those, it's a really good record. But you've got to note that in the past few years, MaSa isn't quite what he used to be, say, 2 years ago, and JonSnow has just progressively gotten into a more stable. And
if you remember correctly from WCS, there is only like a 10 point difference between the two in terms of their points. From WCS.
That was Puck and JonSnow. For MaSa, it was about double JonSnow, but it's still within the ballpark. In terms of like their actual MMR, there's about a 300 point difference. But JonSnow like a comfortable 6.2 in that area. So he's definitely, as Ravi, like Fear Dragon often refers to him, like he's kind of like the gatekeeper of NA, of like you have to be JonSnow level good to be good. And I think that's about right. He's just been that guy that's like him, and
he's like the threshold. Are we saying, is that what Ravi says? The threshold
stands there at the threshold.
He's like the threshold. Yeah, exactly. He's almost like JonSnow is the American Semper.
Yeah. That makes total sense. And then we should have statistics up on the screen. So yeah, when we look, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the maps, and like how do we know they're both Terran, obviously. So, or sorry, Terran and
Terran Zerg. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. How does Terran favor on this particular map? If anyone, either of you know.
Oh, what are we starting on again?
Automaton.
Automaton.
I thought that was last.
I think it's automaton.
Automaton is a word that I've heard.
But all the like main casters call it automaton.
Automaton makes sense too, but it's automaton. Say that
it's automaton.
Automaton.
Let's do a little fantasy scenario. JonSnow beats MaSa. What happens to the pool next? Was Puck picks? What do we think happens?
I think Puck. I don't know. It's because if you pick MaSa could easily deflect, MaSa, his quote unquote worst matchup is against Protoss. So Puck might want to take a strategy. Hey, and this is where some collaborating could come in. I'm gonna pick, a creature or whoever, and then they're gonna deflect again to MaSa, and that's gonna give me my guaranteed chance to take him out, kind of scenario. So it all depends what's going on behind the scenes, behind our backs here.
Because like if MaSa starts losing lives and his reflect, he can see his position. He can put him in the same position as creature. I'm actually gonna jump out here because I hear that our game is live, boys.
We'll do it.
Good luck, have fun. Take it
over. Thank you, sir.
Indeed, and we are here on either Automaton or Automaton. Good luck, have fun. Insert proxy here. Makes sense. Looks like he's not doing it just yet. Basically, acting like the AI here. I've only heard the song Fifi, but that's on Nicki Minaj's album, so I don't know.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you're just joining us, this is our second series here in King of the Nations Suupa tournament. That's right, day one here. We're gonna have more tournaments, more games King next week. North. Yeah, King of the North. Oh my God, what did I say?
Yeah, I don't know what you said.
I don't even know what I said. King of the North. I don't even know what I said.
You said nations.
King of the Nations. Sorry.
It is the two nations.
I'm thinking Nation Wars and all of it.
We have the MaSa the MaSa AI is already having their errors. This is pretty good typing speed here too.
Yeah.
This is actually the best English I've ever seen out of MaSa. He's not screwed up one thing yet.
Here he is in the top right. OSC's our red Terran player, Give it up for MaSa. Currently at $25, one series win.
Yeah, damn right. And down here on the bottom leftish side of the map, it is our blue Zerg player representing Storm Gaming and representing them like a boss. It is JonSnow.
Is he the one from that TV show that I keep hearing about?
He is. He is from Suits. Something like that. It's a great name to pick.
Which observer is you, Tara? Number 3?
Oh yeah.
I think. I don't know. There's like 3, 4, and 5 to follow.
Seems like it.
Yeah,
there's multiple people.
Yeah, okay. There's a big charm on the right one.
It's probably him. So we've got Factory coming down here for MaSa. Nothing super aggressive. He did, in fact, make a Marine first. There was the Reaper out, but there is a Marine already back at home, so he's not doubling down on that stuff. Lings are already out to deal with this. But one did die. We'll scout that the third is down. Got it.
Did he try for a proxy? I wasn't watching. I don't think.
No, he typed it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what all the chats.
But he didn't actually do it.
I was busy watching that, not the actual game, and I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
Did he actually try?" Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So none of that. The Reaper's still getting in there to try and do damage to get a second kill on a Ling, and we're going to get 2 Hellions out, responding to the 3 base.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for a Hellion drops potentially.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that Starport coming out, might get a medevac.
He's got a tech lab for it already, so I think we are going to get Hellion right into Banshee. This is kind of old school and classic him of sending a Reaper, sending some Hellions. The Hellions usually end up focusing on trying to injure a Queen so that the Banshee can then finish him off. Lings will not get in here, but we'll be able to see as 2 Hellions come out and clean it up. 2 Hellions and the Reaper already into the mineral line of JonSnow here. Will he get us around here on the Hellions?
Diving on it.
Yeah.
All right, so he gets 3 workers, not the biggest of kills there.
Yeah, not worth it for that level of like Hellions. Obviously, he wanted really all 4 to go in, ultimately all 6 to be alive, but doesn't do that.
Drekken brought up a good talking point just a little bit ago. We didn't address on this map. He was saying, how could it be utilized by a Terran? He was, I believe, asking specifically. And is this just more open to those Hellion run-bys? Is that why we're seeing this more necessarily the style?
Yeah, I think so. Your whatever third you take is pretty open. I think it is pretty good for this. And then the middle is also really open, so you've got a lot of room to do things. I think it's a reasonable way to go. Now, he ultimately did not go for the Banshee. He ended up getting a Raven here and then going into a Viking, which is interesting. I think that's because he didn't do with the first couple Hellions what he usually does, which is ending up injuring a lot of Queens.
Quick shout out to Dusty for the subscription with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Oh, and we forgot earlier, Zerg.
Zerg Troll.
Zerg Troll.
Yeah.
Also an esports hero. Thank you. All right, that was all.
We'll control the creep here with the Raven, which is also a pretty good use of this, going after the active tumors. And just kind of controlling the space and controlling the map here.
Doing a good job of it, too. And it's so important against Zerg. Staying active, keeping that creep at bay, just making sure that your opponent can't take over the map, because that's what Zerg relies on, is absorbing the map and just owning everything, getting creep spread so they can see everywhere, having overlords everywhere.
And the Vikings clearing that up, too. Now, there's 2 workers... I think he's realized it now. There were 2 workers that were actually stuck behind the refinery that he thought were mining gas the whole time, but we're not. He's now moved them to build these 2 bunkers.
He found those lazy SCVs slacking, smoking behind the refinery there.
Roaches will come across. This is a decent number of them, but 2 bunkers are coming down.
Ooh, and yeah, the Hellions utilizing that open space that you were talking about very well here, able to run around most of those roaches, finding, even killing one for their trophy wall.
You've got a lot of room. And
he finds the queens too.
Yeah, delayed him enough. Yeah, they're not going to want to fight him off creep like this. And
every Zergling he gets helps with this initial attack too. And they're doing a phenomenal job. Wow, look at that kiting.
See what he's got here. 2 Liberators will deploy. 2 more are going to be coming out. Now a little harder to attack into this, but still a pretty good army. The single tank on the high ground doing a pretty good job here as well. It's going to be hard to push into this.
Yeah, these units are just far enough back that the Ravagers can't really get to them. They're using all their piles right now on the bunker because that's kind of the only thing within safe range of, if he dives in and loses everything to the Liberators, now you're in a really bad spot. But
Hellions finally going down there, but I think those Hellions in existence prevented this intended swarm afterwards. Because obviously he was just going to run in there, destroy it, and come in with 80 lings, and that's not there. Now 2 more Liberators are out. He's going to send one off to counterattack as he does come in.
Swarm.
Will he be able to get in? Saving that bunker is going to be huge here as he counter pushes. Almost all the lings are gone now.
Well, this isn't too bad. Only 5 or 7 now, I think. No, still only 5 SCVs have died in all of this. So all in all, you got a bunker, you got a Liberator, maybe a few units, but that's about it. And you lost a lot of army supply to do that. A lot of Zerglings have gone down now.
Yeah, for sure. A landed Viking here in the main base. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Liberator is now coming in to the 3rd, and will likely get some kills. There is a queen right under it, but the other one's not quite responding and will be picked off, and a few drones go down. Liberator.
Oh, yes. Use that match Reno code in the chat, everybody. Sorry, I just saw that.
Yeah, Suupa. Suupa in the chat. More drones going down. That turret actually doesn't get one. Really close, but does not quite. And then going against the 4th with this drop here as MaSa reestablishes his 3rd.
MaSa's kind of everywhere. He's doing a really good job at controlling a lot of space in this map here, in this matchup.
Yeah, we'll take that out. And 3 base against 3 base with relatively even worker counts. MaSa a really good hold overall there. It's really those hero Hellions in the middle which prevented that attack from launching a little bit sooner. Had they been able to come out when there was just 2 Liberators, I think they could have overwhelmed that position, especially with some extra lings.
So yeah, MaSa keeping things even here, not allowing JonSnow to get that snowball effect rolling here. And even he got that 4th base, which is huge. JonSnow's going to try to get another 4th in the main cluster here of his bases. But still losing more creep, just getting pulled apart a little bit here.
Yeah, controlling that creep is a gigantic thing.
It's still even the workers though. They're not too far off.
Yeah, for sure. It's still definitely a game from here. Liberator coming in back of the main again. This time it will likely get picked off before he gets out. Little life left, but he's kind of going to come back in. Queen will get him now. Another one at the 3rd base, getting a little bit more done here. 7 kills on that guy, although not all at the same time. I like this. 2 armies essentially just sitting on top of each other. But MaSa now pulling back.
Ooh, just looking at that spot where that Liberator was. If you could get 2 Liberators there and put one on kind of either side of, between the hatchery and the minerals, you could really zone out queens on that area.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be, because there's enough dead space there, they can kind of sit back. Yeah, just where you were looking there. But
some cute mining at this gold here now too. This is another neat one where mining out the gold actually opens up a new path.
Oh yeah, I like that. I really like that they're trying to change a little bit, not drastically, but change the dynamic of the map a little. It's less of a, all right, there's an obstacle here, go around it. Things you can interact with a little bit.
Oh, Marines catching a bunch of these Ravagers as they went in to harass workers. And on the retreat, he's going after that, what is the 5th base here now again. That will likely, there's not maybe enough here to cancel it. He will either let them go or pick up and get on out of there. But in the meantime, the 4th just going down to the mass of Marines.
Yeah, look at that army supply. drastically in MaSa's favor right now. And with every base that JonSnow keeps losing, he's just hit a stone wall, essentially. Just can't.
Tank's in really good position here now. Yeah.
But he does have Adrenal Glands. He's got Ultralisk coming on the way with Chitinous Plating. He's trying to get that really good.
Oh, he cancels or just stops that +2 armor. The +2 attack will finish, though. But the +2 armor would be huge against these Marines.
Especially with Ultras coming out, you want all the armor they can get.
Yeah.
Make them invincible if you can. But, man, these attacks from MaSa are just so unrelenting.
Yeah, absolutely everywhere. He can barely deal with this force up in the main, and that's not even the main force.
He's just picking them apart. The army supply is evening out just a little bit here. JonSnow's trying to get out as much as he can. He's got more Ultras on the way. I think he's got, how many on the field already? 4 or 5 more on in the production tab.
3 will completely take out those Marines, as he wasn't really looking there at the time. This tank position much more important right now.
Oh, he's even got some Infestors out. That's impressive. Yeah. Through all of this, all of the worker losses he's taken, he's actually still really even on workers, only down by 2. It's just the bases that he keeps losing that are really setting him behind here.
That 4th base, or what became the 4th base, is actually sitting with 114 hit points left. Will be vulnerable later. The Ultras overwhelming the tanks here. One of them with literally 7 hit points left, but lives.
Those workers know. They just get
there
out.
There goes that 4th again, though, which is so precarious. So back down to just a few bases. The medevac coming in to the 3rd gets a little bit done, but trying to find somewhere to go.
Yeah, man, JonSnow still hanging in there, though. Again, worker count very even. Army supply has now almost even out, where it was at almost 40 army or so deficit. He's now getting really good fungals as well, trying to get some Baneling hits. Not the best, but the Ultras will be plenty to clean that up. And I think JonSnow still stand a chance here.
Yeah, he's doing reasonably well here. The one thing that will hurt him, as we mentioned, is these are Ultras that only have +1 armor. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a bit of a concern if MaSa can kind of stabilize, and there's a big army coming, and Ultras may not be able to stand and fight this by themselves.
We'll see if the miracle fungals maybe can happen and he can get those Ultras right up in the face, but I guess if they're anti-armored there, that is not good. There's the big fungal. The Ultras will make some awesome connections here. They're breaking through Undersword. Barely.
They are definitely getting through. Look, Marines killing Ultras with their low hit point or low armor rating. But even then, they trade off pretty well, even off creep.
Yeah, off creep, anti-armored, and they're still pushing through. But in the end, he knows it will not be enough, giving us a really good engagement there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, MaSa was just non-stop attacking that game.
Yeah, definitely there. He really multi-pronged everywhere. He holds off a really strong attack by JonSnow early on in this game, where it looked like if JonSnow had been able to launch it 5-10 seconds sooner, I think he would have overrun the position. But it was the Hellions in the middle that actually kept JonSnow from being able to push the button on that, and he had to wait for a second round of Lings really to come across and connect with it. So really good hold there. Then ultimately JonSnow doing a really good job at holding off multiple attacks by MaSa that could have ended the game. Ultimately did still lose a lot of bases though, and once the Ultras died, no money left really.
What was our next map? Was it Port Alexander?
Port Alexander, I believe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we even named it. We just said, what's the first one?
I don't think we did. The second one. Yeah. Sure. So we'll do Port Alexander. If nobody complains.
Whatever.
Very cool. But yeah, actually, now's a good time. We haven't blown it up enough. Use the Matcherino code if you have not done so already, please. ! Matcherino in the chat. Should be there if you've been hanging out with us for a little bit. Go sign in, copy in that code, hit contribute. That's all you got to do, and it gives us $1 that goes towards supporting this tournament. It's definitely helps these players out there, given their time to give us some entertainment. The least you can do is give them a free $1, I think.
Exactly.
It's greatly appreciated.
And feel free, obviously, to donate more if you are so inclined. But just typing in Suupa, which is SUUPA.
Suupa.
Because that's how you spell Suupa, apparently. Suupa. That's the way to go. Suupa.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of Todd pronouncing supply. It's similar to that.
But yeah, and also too, it was mentioned in the chat there. There is a Patreon. You can also go if you like the events that ESChamp does. You can help us out in other ways and help keep these events going. I've been doing a lot of fun things. Of course, the Probots, one of the main things, and then the oh my god, I almost said King of the Nations again.
King of the North.
King of the North.
Yeah, we're always trying to come up with like the novel formats or interesting things.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Even with like the show interviews, if we've interviewed AI creators, we interviewed game makers, we try and get the off the beaten path stuff. That
eventually we'll interview the AI themselves, maybe.
Exactly. That's it. MaSa was trying to type like the AI in the last game. Was able to keep that up through the opening. We are now here on Port Alexander, and it's kind of a nice visual map, I think. We actually, in the past, interviewed the creator of this map as well. And yeah, it's a nice thing. We've got cartons or freight containers all throughout the map that are Zerg, Protoss, and Terran colored. But down here on the bottom right-hand corner of said map, we have the Psystorm Gaming representative. He is a Zerg player. It is JonSnow. And yeah, talking about the balance changes. Yeah, I think that is right. It was like 30 to 15 and then 15 to nothing.
Up in the top right, appreciating the game's hardworking designers. Our red Terran player currently up one game, just needs one more to secure himself $25 more. Give it up for MaSa from OSC Esports.
Yeah, good little team that they've put together, OSC.
Yeah, they do a lot of good events as well. Sponsor events, just a very big part of the community here.
Straight up
furious.
Yeah. Alluding to the well-known fact that MaSa is a furry.
All right, well, this is a new map for me. I have not actually seen a game yet on this. I've been busy with some Brood War stuff and other things, so I haven't been able to check this out. Have you been able?
I've seen some. It's a frequently vetoed map, just because of this. Maybe not too weird, but the ramps down to the third and fourth, there's quite a bit of distance out there, so this often ends up getting vetoed by one race or another. But we've got Lings already out here. They obviously chose not to veto this one. I don't think it is too bad, but it's just a little different enough that often players just veto different more than anything else.
Now, this reminds me of the planet Korhal. Is Port Alexander on Korhal? Do we know? Does anybody know in chat? Where is Port Alexander? Question of the day. It feels like Korhal to me. I could be wrong, though.
It sounds like it would be in Egypt, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, who knows? Could be some random planet in the Terran Dominion way out in the outskirts. Who the hell knows? Oh, we're going to have, looks like the very same build that we saw last game. 2 Hellions on the way. There's the Starport now as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Starport with the Tech Lab yet again. So we'll see if it's for a Raven again or if it is a Banshee follow-up.
If it works.
Yeah, did work last game. Although there were certainly points there when he may have felt a bit on the back foot. Certainly MaSa did as that large attack was coming. So will he do the exact same thing? Reaper sees a third base again, and Reaper will back off. And a Viking is actually the first thing to come out before he... so he doesn't actually switch the barracks and Starport just yet. But he's also not doing anything with that Tech Lab.
There he's doing battle cruisers.
Aha.
Fusion core on the way. Everybody do your fusion core dance.
I like it.
I love the new battle cruiser. Big fan of it. It should have been able to move and shoot from the beginning. Yeah. You see it in the cinematics in StarCraft 1, in the original cinematic. You see the battle cruiser just kind of cruising overhead, slowly moving, just gunning down Zerg.
It is weird. It's always weird. I mean, it's a great game, actual game mechanic. Oh, that was kind of odd. He was making concussive shell and stopped it so that he could do the swap out. So
Oh, battlecruiser is much more important.
Yeah,
well, and it might have been a psych out had an overlord, coming
seen
in
it.
out and sees it. It's
That
like,
is true. He had it close. Yeah, he had it close. So yeah, kind of cool. Cool there. Small mind game stuff.
And so as soon as MaSa has a little bit more money, we should see a battlecruiser. There it is.
Yay.
Battlecruiser number 1.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm a big fan of the battlecruiser update. It's probably my favorite. I'm a Protoss player, but the battlecruiser is my favorite update.
It is definitely cool to see. It never made sense that they couldn't fire while moving anyway, although that's kind of true for most units, but whatever. It's a
big flying ship. Phoenix can do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you think about it now too, our current day in America, our jets and our, they have to be moving.
It would be amazing if they did have to just stop to fire a missile.
F-16 is like, boop.
Just stop in midair.
Hold on. Yeah, doesn't work like that. So, anyway, good updates. So far, I haven't heard very many complaints about really any of the changes. Of course, you're going to have a few people always complaining about something, but in general, I haven't seen a lot of big major complaints about any of the updates so far.
Yeah, I think the initial carrier suggestions were a little too harsh, but they did kind of back off on some of that. The only one that I find really harsh still is the High Templar feedback nerf.
Yeah, that one. I think that one was probably the most complained about, just because it definitely really nerfed the High Templar.
It's really drastic, yeah. But we got a lot of Hellions coming in here now. I love this. We jump forward, and we'll go after Queens here.
Look how powerful and beautiful it is.
SCV's coming to support the battlecruiser, repairing it back up.
Tickling away at this battlecruiser, but it's just not. He doesn't care. He's just like, go ahead, Queens. Poke all you want.
Yeah, and transforming into the Hellbats. The mild nerf to the transfuse here, obviously helping as well.
I kind of like it, though. I think it's, I don't know. It feels more like a WoW heal almost now, though.
Yeah.
Like a druid healer tossing his heal that regenerates over time on you. I don't mind it, though. I think it's all right.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It still does most of what it did, just not everything.
It's just a little drawn out, that's all.
Yeah. Battlecruiser now absolutely occupying this natural. We'll take out the Spore Crawler head-to-head.
Queens, no problem.
Roaches are going to come across, but the second battlecruiser is out.
Just in time for the defense there.
Yeah.
And now he should be able to teleport it across to join his brother here. And, again, Queens, no problem. Spore Crawler so far, no problem. This next Spore Crawler, he's got to be a little bit careful now.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's a little hurt.
Yeah, he is keeping it at home for the time being. This one battlecruiser with 19 kills, now 20 as a building is added onto that. And he's just kind of controlling this space a lot.
It's just putting him in such a good advantage. Yeah, he's able to do whatever he wants back home. He's getting a third base right now, while JonSnow's just struggling to hold on to his 3.
And there comes the second one, jumping in to the main, getting more done. The Queens not even really trying to fight back here. The movement definitely working out for him.
Spire trying to be done. Oh, he could pick off the Spire there.
That would be huge. He could get a lot of anything.
I think that's kind of JonSnow's only hope, is to get maybe a ball of Corruptors out.
Yeah. He may go after the Spore before it gets up again. Does indeed. No shots off.
Oh, man. This is just brutal.
Third battlecruiser.
Yeah, well, and the change to the battlecruisers would not have really changed this build much, I don't think. This is still just a very early. It wasn't scouted out. So there was no way JonSnow could have anticipated or prepared for it, really.
Yeah, exactly. Here he did a pretty good job controlling that, getting the Viking out first so that it wasn't spotted. The Hellions, mass Hellion into this could have been an indicator that gas was going somewhere, but in the previous game he showed it going into Raven, so maybe not a huge tip off there either. So pretty well done.
Indeed. JonSnow heavily supply blocked. Army supply way down. Worker count is even falling below the average here that he would like. But yeah, I think this might just be it. MaSa seems unstoppable today.
A Corruptor has come out. A Spore weirdly in range there.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, he could definitely, I don't know, clean up the battlecruisers. They can always jump away though too if they get caught bad. Yeah, like that.
Out of there.
Yeah. Oh, Yamato. Yamato on the lair. Is that what it was? I think.
No, it was Corruptor.
Oh, okay, it was on a Corruptor. It looked like it was right at him, but that's where it spawned. Yeah, Roach is trying to do something here, but there's just nowhere to do anything. Bruised battle cruiser. Will it get repaired up? There's some SCVs under there. Four battle cruisers with Yamato. It should make some short work of Corruptors, but they're just...
Oh yeah, once he gets this all repaired up, he'll be able to dominate. 88 supply to 38. That's the army supply. He does have +1 armor for the battle cruisers, +2 on the way, and that is just going to make them unstoppable. He doesn't need the attack right now. We saw how much damage these battle cruisers can do early game.
Yeah.
So he's just going to get them repaired, and here we go. Should be pushing out now.
Hellions now coming in against these pretty undefended mirror lines, getting some worker kills. Could even try and fight these roaches, but we'll back off. Battle cruisers making their way across the bottom side of the map. I kind of think he's just going to go into the main with these. He could even come in and try and go directly after the Spire here, as the rest of the army goes towards the other bases. Cyclones out as well are definitely going to help against Corruptors, should they want to be there.
And those battle cruisers taking the scenic route here. We'll get there eventually. But he can't. JonSnow can't even stop this big army barreling down his front barely. You know, the Cyclone's able to DPS the Roaches down while the Hellions just kind of keep everything busy.
They make such short work of the hatchery here now too, with the lock-on. Will come down. Army getting wrecked, and the 4 battle cruisers coming into the main. What's he going to go for? That gas, apparently. Sitting on top of the Spore Crawlers, showing them no respect. There are Corruptors. Will he jump out or just fight this? That is a lot of them. There are 10 there. Oh, 1 battle cruiser actually dying. He's kind of being aggressive with this. Jump away at the last second. Yamato going off and another jump away.
19 dead drones here. 83 workers to 38. Army supply a little bit in MaSa's favor, but that's going to be just too much. GG.
GG is called. A little bit of disrespect at the end with the battle cruisers going and literally sitting on 2 spores while fighting 10 Corruptors. There's obviously a more cautious way to do that, but he knew he won.
Didn't need to.
Yeah. So JonSnow does lose a life here. MaSa still the only player to win anything yet, as he has played in both series. Will have $50 on the clock now, and after 2 challenges has not lost a life. JonSnow, of course, originally going after Creature again, but Creature deciding he didn't want to lose 2 lives this early on in it and deflected him into MaSa. So that is Creature's deflection gone. And next up, we're going to have Puck being the picker. Woo. And see what he chooses. He could obviously go after a now completely vulnerable Creature, do a PvP, always been one of Puck's strengths in particular, and given that he's identified as the weaker player in the tournament, Creature is, then, could be picked on. However, when JonSnow went to pick Creature in the last game, Puck was the first to object not to bully Adam. So he may opt for something else. Let's see if he's true to his word.